What's going on, you guys? It is your boy Nate. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We talk about a lot of things here when it comes to purpose and masculinity. And today, guys, I do want to talk about a very important topic, which is the topic of self-discipline being the key to attracting the people that you want into your life. Now, this seems like a really weird concept because if you've lived a life where you know people who have lived a life of, let's say, partying, going out to bars and clubs and parties in general, or people who live pretty crazy lifestyles, you might go, well, unless I'm doing that, I won't attract the people into my life that I want, right? You have to basically play a role. You have to fit into a box to get what you want, right? That's what a lot of people think. A lot of people think you have to do those certain things, but guys, the truth is a lot of people are settling for a false sense of security and community. And the reason is because most people these days are looking for a cheap thrill. They're looking for a high, they're looking for a fix, they're looking for something, right? They're looking to feel something, they're looking to numb something, to experience something, right? But the key here, guys, and this goes for attracting the women you want, the friends you want, the coworkers you want, the life essentially that you want, is it comes through self-discipline. Now, what does that look like, guys? Let's just kind of go down the list here, all right? Let's start with the top of the list. I see a lot of guys vaping, a lot of guys using a lot of nicotine. And I'm not saying, I'm just going to say this, guys, there's nothing wrong with doing any of these things. It's when you allow them to master and control your life. When you know that your life is lived in a way that's like, if you compare your life with or without something, right? Let's say you vape all day long. Maybe you're having lung issues. Maybe you can't run like you used to. Maybe you find yourself constantly anxious, constantly feeling like you have to do it, right? You know that's taking away from your life in some capacity. What's gonna happen, guys? Let's look at the domino effect here. What's gonna happen, and this goes for anything, whether you smoke a little bit of ganja, whether you're vaping, whatever it is, right? Drinking, I'll get into that here in a little bit. Whatever you do, guys, it's a domino effect if it controls your life. Because what it does is it makes you irritable. It makes you self-dependent, right? You think that vape, whatever it is, right? I'm just gonna use a vape as an example. You think that vape is essentially God. That's the thing that's gonna bring you peace. That's the thing that's gonna bring you purpose. That's the thing that's gonna get you to your next whatever. That's the thing that's gonna carry you through. So you depend on that, right? And so when you meet people in your life, you tend to not maybe invest as much into your conversations or relationships because, well, you don't really need to. There's really nothing that you have to lose, right? Because you always got this vape. You always got this thing that you can rely on, right? I know it seems crazy, guys, but if you really think about it, if you really, really think about it, think about how you're anxious, think about how other people that get super anxious, they're just not all there, right? It's for a reason. These things, they want you to be hooked on them. Same goes for drinking, guys. This is a big one. Drinking, a lot of people think they have to drink to fit in. Now, I'm not saying if it's a really, close group of people that you trust, maybe it's like a family event, maybe it's Christmas or Thanksgiving or something. Guys, by all means, if you don't have a problem with alcohol, like if you're not like a true alcoholic, it's okay to enjoy a couple drinks, right? It's okay to have some fun drinking. There's nothing wrong with that at all, at all, okay? But the problem becomes when you have to use it to socialize, when you have to use it to fit in, to get along, right? And this is something that I fell into in my younger 20s where I felt like I had to drink to fit in with people in college or going out, because it made me not as anxious, right? I wasn't self-doubting. I was just saying things. I was just being charming or funny or whatever, right? And looking back, there were times I would be like the designated driver and I wouldn't drink, or I'd go somewhere and I wouldn't drink, and I would see people. I'd be like at a party with like 20 some people and everyone would be drinking, and I'd just be sitting there going like, this is stupid. Everybody sounds so dumb. Like everybody's drinking, everybody, like, this is so weird being sober. So guys, if you're gonna drink, again, hopefully do it with a close group of people, you know, and don't make it a very frequent thing, right? Because obviously alcohol is just poison. Most people shouldn't really be drinking every day, but hey, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just saying from personal experience, from things I've seen across the board, just watch out for that, right? It's very easy to get socially dependent on alcohol. And then you might go down the path of, you start to link the alcohol with being social, and then you might start to drink by yourself to feel that sense of like belonging, which, you know, people have been there too, right? So you got to be careful. But it also goes for things like porn, guys. Let's be real here for a second. We live in the 21st century. We have phones, we have computers, we have access with a couple of clicks away. You can go to porn within a couple seconds, right? The biggest thing I see with porn, guys, is there's some people who say that they can watch porn or, you know, use porn and they can live their lives just fine. But it's the same argument that like a drug addict makes to get their fix. Well, I don't need it, but, you know, eventually I'm going to need it. That's what they're saying, right? Some people can go a long time in their life without it, but porn, guys, really, once it comes down to it, is control. It's the false sense of control, right? Because a lot of men, we want to feel like we're in control, right? When we're in the bedroom, right? We want to be in the dominant position, right? We want to be in that controlling sort of like dominant position. And a lot of women do prefer, you know, to be submissive anyway, right? But what porn does is it gives you that false sense of ultimate control, right? Where there's no fear of rejection, right? There's no fear of, okay, if I ask this girl out and we get to bed, there's no fear of like whatever. It's porn, right? You can just use it for what it is. The issue with that, guys, is because of the way things are created, because of the way that things are made, porn has become such a destructive, and the way it's made, guys, is to get you hooked, right? It's not made to just use like once a month or whatever, right? It's made to essentially get you hooked. The novelty factor is there to make you think that you have control, to make you think that you have the ability to just get your fix in, basically to satisfy yourself, and then boom, you're done. That's it, right? You don't have to worry about a woman. You don't have to worry about real life. Now, I believe, guys, that you should find a good woman. You should get married. You really shouldn't have sex before marriage. I've talked about this in a lot of my videos because it just creates problems, right? It creates a lot of problems no matter how you try to approach it, right? Unless you are willing to truly commit to somebody and truly stand by their side, guys, sex is such a huge thing. We make it seem like a handshake these days. It's not. Sex is a huge, huge thing between men and women, all right? People who say it's not, they've just seared their conscience. They've just lied to themselves, basically. They become desensitized to it. But the fact is, sex is a very, very intimate act, right? And so what it does for a lot of men, if maybe they don't feel like they're worthy or they don't feel like they're, you know, worth a woman, it's so easy to turn to porn because you get that ultimate like satisfaction, that sexual satisfaction. But guys, the truth is that sex isn't everything. I know multiple people have said this, but it's really not. You can have sex with a lot of different women. That's not going to bring you happiness. That's not going to bring you any sort of long-term satisfaction. It's just a quick ego boost. It's a quick fix. It's a quick, like, I'm the man, and then now what, right? So porn, guys, it's there for control. It's also there for comfort, right? It's very close. So they've done studies on this. The effects of porn is very similar to that of something like heroin, right? And heroin, guys, painkillers, things like that, they're made to literally soothe you and to bring you down to this level of, it's like bliss, right? And so when you have sex, there's a lot of different chemicals that are released. Well, porn, it mimics it, right? And it gives you that false sense. It does give you those chemicals, but to a different degree. And you get hooked on different things. You actually, this is crazy, guys, you actually get hooked on the screen, you get hooked on the porn itself and not necessarily the act. Crazy, right? That's why porn's so dangerous, because it's made to get you hooked, right? Most people aren't as sexually active or hyper or whatever you want to call it as they think they are. It's just pornography. It heightens that. It gives you that hit. It gives you that like instant hit, that super high, right? And then that's it, right? There's really nothing else to it. And so you get hooked in that loop, right? Comfort also, if, like I've already alluded to this, you are a guy who maybe is not that great with women, maybe you're going through a pretty tough time in life and you're just using that to cope and get by. I see this happen with guys especially who can't really talk to women, who don't really have confidence in themselves at all. And they maybe try once, twice, to talk to a girl. It doesn't work and they're pretty hooked on porn, right? Because it's just so easy. Guys, what you got to realize too is the porn is contributing to the problem, because what you end up doing when you watch porn is you also tend to look at people more like animals. They've also done studies on this as well. You tend to look on people with less humanity, like you will start to look at people literally as like objects and less as people. It'll condition your brain to think like that. So it's very dangerous. It's a very slippery slope. And I hate it when people say, oh, you can just use it casually. Oh, you can. Guys, stop lying to yourself, right? Go out and talk to women. Go out and actually talk to women, guys. I'm not saying you gotta like date them, you gotta bring them out, you gotta get them in bed. I'm saying just go talk to women and you'll see that they're people too. This world wants to make you think that men and women are so different and there's all these games and all these things we have to do. It's not true, guys. People are people, right? Porn, it paints an image, right? And also for a lot of guys, I believe if they've had maybe issues like emotional issues, maybe with their mother, they've had maybe bad relationships in the past, things like that with women, this can play into it as well, because it gives you that, again, false sense of being close with a woman. But guys, being close with a woman, again, it's not sex. It goes beyond that completely, right? And that's why I really encourage men to find a good woman. But guys, this video isn't about that. This video is about self-discipline. So why did I bring all that up, right? I brought all that up to show you the issues, right? Those are just some of the big ones I see, right? Video games, I'll touch on this briefly. Video games, you gotta be careful with video games because it can give you a false sense of socializing, right? But if you have an active social life also in real life, just make sure you limit the video game time. I'm not one of those people that say you should throw your console away unless you really, really want to, right? I know for some people, they probably should. For some people, they're just so busy in life that they don't have time for it. But guys, when it comes to video games, look, I'm one of those people, I can go months, I can go a year, I can go longer, and I just not play a video game. It doesn't matter. And every once in a while, if it gets really slow in life, I really don't have anything going on, I've done everything I need to do, sometimes it's fun to hop on, play with a couple of your buddies, right? A couple times a week, hop on, play for a little bit. Just make sure it's not taking up all of your free time. Make sure that you're actually doing everything else you need to do, right? And then play some video games, because it's so easy to get lost, because video games, believe it or not, gives you also a false sense of control, but also it mimics the achievements that we should be actually achieving in real life as men, right? So you get really addicted to earning achievements and trophies and leveling up and doing all these things, and it gives you these hits of dopamine, like, oh, I'm accomplishing something. But really, guys, it's a video game. Once you turn that video game off or the power goes out, what have you really achieved, right? One thing I will say though, if you're really good at streaming, maybe you're really good at talking to people, right? You can make quite a bit of money doing this. You can make YouTube videos, you can do streams. People will pay you, some money here and there, $1 or $2, $5, sometimes more. Some people have gotten really good at that. Hey, more power to you, man. If you can do that as a side gig or even a full-time thing and make some good money from it, man, hey, go for it, right? But just make sure it's not taking away from your actual life of productivity. And guys, I bring all of this up to show you the common things and the highlights of what a lot of guys fall into. Because all of these things, if you haven't figured it out, guys, all of these things will drain your good energy from you. All of these things will drain the positivity from you and make you an anxious wreck. It will get you hooked. It will take away from your humanity, from your perception of people. It will take away your perception of life, and it will replace it with what that thing is in front of you, whether that's the vaping, the drinking, the porn, the video games. It will take those things and it will lock you in unless you can escape, unless you can break free. And the only way you can really break free, guys, is if you replace those things. A lot of people, they try to get rid of something, right? And just hold themselves up in their room and just hope for the best and hope that it goes away. Guys, the reality is you have to replace those habits. So let's take vaping as an example, right? I'm gonna end the video with this. I'm gonna give you all a solution. The vaping, right? You feel super anxious. You always need a hit. You always need to be doing this to feel normal. Guys, here's an idea, right? You could always try to go over to like the nicotine gum, the Zens or whatever, or just quit cold turkey, right? Get to a point where you're not having to just constantly inhale. Because I think, I know some people have problems with Zens. Those are just easier because it's more of a dosage, but I'm talking about vaping, guys. Replace it. Replace it with something that you should be doing, like physical activity. Believe it or not, if you do a lot of cardio, like 30 minutes to an hour of cardio, like a day, you're gonna have a lot less of a desire for nicotine. Start socializing more, right? Start putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. You'll find yourself going, wow, I actually enjoy this. I actually enjoy challenging myself, and I don't need this stick to live my life. Alcohol, same thing. Get around people that don't drink. Get around people that are just living their life. Get around people who are just enjoying life for what it is. And all of a sudden you'll find that, oh wow, there is a lot to life. There is a lot to enjoy, right? There is a lot to do besides drink. And if you are one of those people that drink at night, find other groups to drink. Don't do that. Find other groups of people that you can actually hang out with at nighttime, whether that's maybe you have to go to AA for a while. Find people in a community group, find a church group, find things like a sports group, right? And all of a sudden, oh wow, I can socialize without drinking all day or all night, right? Porn, guys, this is a big one. Get out there and start talking to people. It doesn't even have to be women. I would say women it would actually help you to rewire your brain. But sometimes just talking to people in general, like guys, fellow guys, just talking to people. And all of a sudden you'll realize that they're people too, just like you. Everybody's struggling with something, right? But if you hold yourself up and you just go, I can't do this, I need porn, right? Guys, you're never gonna find a woman. And if you do, she's not gonna be a good woman, right? She's gonna be pretty emotionally void. She's gonna be, she might want is sex, right? You're gonna attract the wrong type of women. So start talking to women. All of a sudden you'll realize, wow, I don't need porn, right? Have women in your life that you can be friends with. I know we have this weird notion in life, guys. Unless you're married or unless you have like a girlfriend or long-term, girl, it's okay for you guys to talk to women on like a consistent basis. It's okay for you to be friends with women. A lot of guys say, unless you're serious about a woman, unless you date a woman, you shouldn't be talking to her. Guys, if you guys are buddies, if you guys are like friends, that's okay. Again, unless, one of y'all are married or have a boyfriend, girlfriend, then I cut out the talking, but just out of respect. But I would also say that if you have friends, you have people guys, it's okay. It's okay to talk to women because those women are going to give you the social practice, so to speak, of talking to other women. And guess what? Most of the time, those women have friends and they can introduce you to their friends. And you never know. Maybe one of your friends who's a girl might introduce you to your future girlfriend, who might be your future wife, but you would have never known because you keep writing women off, right? So that's the thing with porn, guys. Just replace it with talking to women, right? It's pretty straightforward, but you got to put yourself out there. Last one, guys, the video games. Find something you can achieve in life, right? Find something that you can actually go for in life, a career, a job, a side business, or all of it, right? Preferably all of it. You want to be working. You also want to be building towards something, achieving something in real life, set milestones for your life, set achievements you want to go for, right? Do things. If you like running, enter a marathon, man. Complete a marathon. All of a sudden, you're going to be around people who are trained for marathons, enjoying going to marathons. You're going to be around people who you are a part of, whether you believe it then or not. You're going to be a part of those type of people. You're going to start surrounding yourself with genuine people. You're going to start to fill that void, so to speak. All right. You're going to start to replace those bad habits, right, with the good ones. And you're going to see you don't need those things as much as you think you do. All right. So guys, self-discipline is the key to attracting the people that you want in your life. You just have to replace the bad habits, right, with the good things. And most of the good things in life, guys, most of it are going to come from surrounding yourself with the people that you want. Community is very important. So guys, if you have anything, if you need anything, if you have any comments, if you want to message me directly, my email is in the channel description. But other than that, I hope y'all have a good one, and I'll see y'all at the next one.